Why did I write the little girl's poem? Um, Honestly, I've been wanting to write something like this for a while. I guess I just didn't know in what context I would write it in. Um, and then it just kind of just came to me. And so the poem is inspired by girls, some grown women now that I did know growing up. Um, you know, I always tell people, well, I tell people that I trust. I've seen a lot of things growing up, but I don't ever really like talk about what I've seen growing up. And so I guess this is my way of opening the gate for me to begin talking about the things that I seen, the things that I knew. You know, growing up in North Tulsa, you see a lot of things, you witness a lot of things, and nobody ever really stops to like really talk about what you see, what, you know. And so growing up, it was kind of like trauma was normal, it was normalized growing up. But, you know, now as an adult, I know that it's not normal. Those things are not normal. You know, when I was younger, I used to think that, oh, well, you know, stuff just happens to everybody. We all have our own crosses to bear. Something happens to everybody, you know, and now I'm like, no, that's not supposed to happen. Those things are not supposed to happen. Yeah, we're supposed to have our own crosses to bear, but being raped by your stepdad, like, I'll never forget that. I was in the fourth grade and she was my best friend, y'all. Like, we were in a talent show together and everything. Well, we were supposed to be. We didn't even get to do our routine because she stopped coming to school because she was pregnant. And, you know, she eventually came back. Well, she didn't come to our school. She went to the school for pregnant girls, you know. Um, but, you know, I never forget about her. Even as a grown woman, I never forget about her and I never will. You know, I remember when I found out, we were outside walking on a track and she had been wearing a jacket all the time. And I kept saying, like, you know, hot in that jacket. Like, you don't want to take that jacket off. Not knowing what happened. And she went to take it off. And I was like, I'm young. I didn't know. I didn't know about pregnancy. I didn't know about none of that. Even though I was in the fourth grade, I was always in the books. Like, I was more worried about, like, but I used to read the dictionary for fun. If that provides any insight, you know, on who I was at that time and at that age. Um, so when she took her jacket off and I seen her somewhere, and I was like, girl, what's wrong? Like, do you gotta go to the hospital? Like, you got cancer? Like, I had no clue what was wrong. And she started crying. And she took off running, like, from the track. She left school. Like, she left school right in that moment. And I was like, something is going on. And then I found out later from some other kids. And, you know, she and I were best friends. So, you know, I figured she would have told me. But she was so ashamed. And she was ashamed of something that wasn't her fault, you know? That wasn't her fault. It wasn't her fault that he was sick. It wasn't, you know? And then, you know, another one of my friends that I knew this girl since sixth grade, we fell out. And then as adults, we actually came back together, you know, to try and be friends again. And, I'll never forget, I had so much going on in my life at the time. She had reached out to me about getting together, and I somehow overlooked her message. I somehow overlooked it. I missed it somehow. I don't know. And that same weekend, she took her life. I didn't even know she was depressed, y'all. I didn't even know. I mean, I could tell that, like, she had lost a lot of weight from when we were growing up, from where I think it was like maybe a year or two after we graduated high school when I seen her. I was like, dang, you lost a lot of weight. I didn't know that it was due to the pills and the alcohol. And I found out she reached out to a few of us the same weekend. And I actually had told her, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be in Tulsa for my sister's baby shower. And she's like, oh, yeah, maybe we can all get together. We can hang out and, it can be like old times. And then she took her life the same weekend. That was the last message she sent me. And I missed that message because, like I said, I had so much going on. Somehow I overlooked it. And I found out Sunday or Monday that she was dead. And so every girl in that poem, they have a place somewhere here. Now, I am one of the girls in that poem, and I think it's easy for people that know me to figure out which girl I am. But I know every girl in that poem on a personal level. So these are not like fictional characters or, everything is realistic. Everything is realistic. So, but I think it's time for me to actually start talking about the things that I witnessed, the things that I seen. I think it's time to start talking about it. And so this is my way of starting, I guess, the conversation, opening up the conversations. You know, it's kind of tough because I seen so much, and to try and go back, it's kind of hard sometimes because I really took those memories and stored them in a compartment that I don't visit, a place that I don't visit, that I don't want to revisit, because they are literally memories I don't want to revisit. So unwrapping all of that is definitely tough. But you guys are probably going to see in a lot of my poetry, it's going to be more of me sharing my life. And then that's the thing. It won't be fictional. It'll be 100% nonfiction, 100% realistic. And, one of the reasons why I hadn't shared any of my writings is because I honestly don't know if people can stomach some of the things that I've seen. So I've been writing, but I just was like, no, I can't share that. No, I can't share that. I can't share that. I can't share that. Because I just don't know if the world is ready for some of these dark truths. It's like we kind of all know that certain things are out there, but we don't acknowledge it. And with the centennial of the Tulsa race riot, no, massacre, because that's what it was. Y'all know I'm from Tulsa, so this is really, it really, really hits so hard home. And finally hearing everyone be able to talk about it. Like everybody talking about it in open. I think it's time for we talk about everything in open. Let's talk about all the suffering that's going on in North Tulsa and why North Tulsa is the way that it is and how it has affected so many generations. Because that 12-year-old girl, she was a result of that, you know? So it has affected so many generations, and it's been overdue. It's a conversation that's been overdue, and it's some work and some healing that has been overdue. But I think it is necessary. Sorry, y'all. I'm shaking the camera. I think it is necessary to start having these conversations, to start doing the necessary work, to start healing people so that we can break these cycles and we can break these generational curses, because that's what they are. That's what they have been. And, my whole life, that's all I've been about my whole life. I didn't even know that was my destiny. I didn't even know what that was back then. But my whole life, my destiny is breaking generational curses. And even as a young child, I knew I wanted to be different. I knew I wanted to do things different, but I didn't know why. And now as an adult, I know it's because I got to break chains. There was things that I had to do. There were crosses I had to carry and nobody else could carry. I had to carry. But everyone is not mentally healthy enough to be able to say, okay, I got to do this work. I need to heal. I need to forgive. Everybody is not at that place where they can do that. It's hard for me to ever even go back and visit Tulsa because of the PTSD that I have from living there and growing up in North Tulsa. And I tell people that I have the worst anger. When I go back to Tulsa, my anxiety is through the roof. Through the roof. I don't know how I lived there for so many years, but I wasn't living, I was surviving. And I think that's the key thing, to acknowledge. I wasn't living. I was literally surviving. I was doing what I had to do to get through the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day. Sorry, my hands are shaking because my anxiety is starting to pick up just even talking about it. But more of my poems will be this way. The language might be a little more explicit. I don't know. I don't know yet. But I know that I am going to try and open up more of who I am now, who I was then, because, I can still respect the fact that who I was then, what I learned then, what I went through then is also what helped make me who I am now. And I know that I wouldn't be as strong mentally as I am if I didn't go through all the things I went through then. But do I wish that I could have lived a life without going through them? Yeah. Yeah. And I actually wanted to talk about myself more in this poem, but I really could not bring myself to lay it down. Because there are some things I definitely wanted to talk, but I couldn't bring myself to write it. I guess I'm not ready to, some things I'm just not ready to talk about. Let's just say it like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the poem. I'm getting ready to wrap it up, wash my face, take a shower, get up in a couple hours, and do it all over again. So thank you guys for tuning in to my Let's Talk. Hope to see you, or I'm not going to say hope to see you guys because I won't actually see you guys, but I'll see your comments. So later, guys. Bye.